Hello, repurposers. Today, I want to talk about resting. If you're taking time off during the holidays, definitely watch these videos because I'm going to talk about three different practices to get the rest you need. Now, why do I say three different practices? Because there are different levels of rest that we all need. So, as you hear me talk about each one of these practices, feel free to, try one or all three of them. Okay, just really feel deep into yourself what would be most beneficial. So, the first type of rest is relaxing and having fun, right? This is what we usually think as resting. So, for some of us, it might be more people time, like getting together over a meal, celebrating, reconnecting, family, friends, loved ones. Really that spirit of the holidays and connections. And so for some of us, it might be finally some time to sleep more and meditate and take solo walks in nature or read the fun romance book that we haven't had time to read while busy, right? And for most people it's probably a combination of the two, right? Some fun and connection and some relaxing sleeping solo time. So really think about what feels good, what do you need, you know what energizes you or what deeply relaxes you. And I think part of this is really to let go of all the worries and the to-do lists and all these things that usually keep you busy and maybe even a little bit stressed during the year. Okay, so if you enter the next few weeks, the end of the year, the holidays, maybe vacation from work, um, some fun, relaxing time to rest would be practice number one. Now let's go a little bit deeper because if you're watching this, maybe you had a tough year. Maybe, there was a lot going on for you. Maybe some things ended, or some people passed away, or some dreams were crushed. There might be some sorrow, there might be some even trauma that showed up from when we were younger and maybe was triggered or is being triggered right now with the holidays. So a deeper and a different type of resting can only come through grieving, through giving yourself time to cry, to release all this emotional stuckness or energy that you carry inside, to honor the pain, but letting yourself fully feel it. So, grieving, we don't think of it as a practice of rest, but in my experience, it can be really, really needed. And the one thing that opens us up to more energy and even restores joy or the ability to be present, and with families or friends or just with ourselves. So if this resonates with you, give yourself some time to fully feel your pain and to grieve. Think of the tears as a flow that sweeps away whatever needs to be let go of. And this grieving can happen once. Maybe you need one good cry. Maybe you need to cry multiple times. And it might not even be that you only do it now. It might be something that you have to keep doing it for a while. But really, grief is powerful. And, if you have trouble connecting with your tears, something that might help is watching a movie or reading something that brings up some feelings. Sometimes, I think for me now, I can access my sadness more easily, but when I was younger, it was really hard sometimes to even feel my feelings. And I felt a lot of release by watching certain movies where the characters were having some feelings and I could cry for them or with them, and that would be a gateway for me to release my own pain. So grief is the second resting practice that goes a little bit deeper. Okay, so first is fun and relaxation, and the second one is grief and grieving. And then there's even deeper resting. Sometimes what keeps us revved up and stressed out and unable to really be in the moment and rest in a quiet mind is that we don't have a philosophy, what I say, a philosophy for dark times. We haven't found a meaning for what we're going through. So, if everything is going great for you and you had a fantastic 2024 and everything looks amazing, great. You can skip, two of these three practices. But, if you have a mix or maybe you're going through a hard time, I think it's important to remember that meaning is what has sustained people through the toughest times. That to have a personal philosophy or to embrace teachings, they can be, traditional teachings, religious teachings, philosophical teachings, whatever it is, right? That include dark times and good times, light and darkness. It can give us a peace of mind that's beyond circumstances. So how do you find this meaning? As I mentioned, it can be meaning that you find in something that's already existing. Like people have been wondering about, the why of life since the beginning, right? Since thousands and thousands of years, we've had this conversation. So maybe in your own culture, in your own religion of origin, in your own family traditions, maybe you have something you can reconnect with that will give you that meaning. Maybe you find it in teachings that have been around for a long time, but they're not what you grew up with. They're not your culture, but they totally make sense to you, right? Great. And that's the thing. But sometimes it doesn't have to be an entire philosophy or an entire, set of spiritual teachings. It can simply be that you quiet the mind and you open up to, your own inner wisdom without trying to find meaning. I think this is the important thing. You cannot intellectually find meaning. Why is this happening? This is the meaning I think would help me. That doesn't work that way. Okay. You quiet the mind, and quieting the mind can be anything. It can be meditation, but it can be like, being in nature. It can be being 100% present as you play with your small child, or just really, it can be looking out the window at the trees. It's just like quieting the mind, being present, and just let the meaning come to you. Meaning is not something you find and then, you put on your wall and 10 years from now is still that. Even if it is still that, it requires the practice of reconnecting from that inner wisdom, from the deeper knowing. And sometimes, the meaning has to change. What made sense to us in our 20s doesn't make sense to us in our 40s, There's a creative, there's some creativity in this meaning, whether it's the creativity of choosing it and practicing what's already there, or the creativity of really letting it emerge. I can't talk right now, but you get what I'm saying. So I think these are the three practices I want to offer as we embark on the last 2 weeks of the year and the beginning of the new year. And as always, trust yourself, trust your deeper self, experiment, let go what doesn't work. And if you feel like it, leave a comment. Yeah, if something comes to you or if you find something helpful, let me know. Okay, leave a comment or send me an email and let me know. All right. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.